Welcome back to the Diaspora channel. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. And I'm your host, Kai Gabiam. Here on the Diaspora channel, we have guests and business owners every single week, and they are here to share things that you can definitely benefit from, and you can also connect with them and build trusted links on the continent and also in the diaspora. So tonight Lives is sponsored by Maison Mocha. And if you don't know what we actually have on the site right now, this beautiful bracelet set is on the site right now. And we have other products as well. So kindly thumbs up the stream and share as well if you can. Bonsoir tout le monde et bienvenue sur Diaspora Channel. Je suis Kai Kabiam et j'espère que votre week-end se passe très bien. Et ce soir, on va encore parler et ce sera plus une discussion en fait que normalement on fait les samedis où on parle des sujets et des choses qui nous affectent ici dans la diaspora. Mais et cette fois-ci, on va aussi ajouter juste un tout petit peu concernant la relation de la diaspora, entre la diaspora et les frères et sœurs qui sont en Afrique, parce que c'est très important qu'on discute des choses comme ça, du moment où maintenant il y a plein de frères et sœurs de la diaspora qui vont aussi en Afrique, soit pour s'installer ou faire des business. C'est très important que eux aussi ils arrivent à savoir connaître certaines choses avant d'aller sur le continent. Donc, likez ce live et si c'est votre première fois, n'oubliez surtout pas de vous abonner et activer la cloche afin de ne pas rater mes lives ou mes nouvelles vidéos. Et ce soir, le live de ce soir est sponsorisé par Maison Mocha. Donc, on a le set, là, on a ça, le bracelet et puis le collier sur le site. So, like we do normally every Saturday, but now it's going to be once a month. The last Saturday of the month, we're going to be having our family discussions. And like you guys know, in our family discussion, that's where we discuss about issues or problems or other suggestions that we can put on the table just to do things better. And since lots of our brothers and sisters are going to Africa, some of them are relocating, some of them is just for business. They also need to know how to do certain things on the continent, and the brothers and sisters on the continent also need to know how to interact with them properly and keep peace and live a harmonious life. So tonight I have Taye back with us. So I'm going to add him now.
Peace, Queen. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
That's great. That's great. The reason why I'm like, you have to come back on. You've been to Africa several times. You visited 15 countries. So that means you interact with so many people. So what can you say about your experience on the continent?
My experiences on the African continent have been amazing. They have been beautiful. They've been life-changing. The people in Africa, they're very friendly, very beautiful people, very hospitable people. I mean, I could go on and on. I love Africa and I love the people there.
Awesome. So tonight we're just going to look into things the diasporans, brothers and sisters that are going to Africa now, also need to know certain things. So when they are interacting with the brothers and sisters on the continent, they don't feel certain, because sometimes it's not always the way we do things here. They do things sometimes differently, but it doesn't mean like they are trying to be rude, or they're having attitude on things like that. So that's why conversations like these are very, very important, so we can hear from our perspective, and also uh, brothers and sisters from the continent. So soon the line will be open, so anyone that wants to call in can easily call in.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Blackmail TV in the house.
What's going on,
up,
sis?
family?
How are you?
What's going on, family?
All is well.
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And
It's
you
a
guys
pleasure.
look
It's a pleasure.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful couple. So that's what we want to see on our screen. I don't know who will be mad,
Well,
but
we got to represent. We got to represent for our people. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like
oh
they always
yes,
try to show us with flags. You know what? You know what? That's a perfect thing, because my shirt says, I don't know if you can see it. It says Africa be like, right? So
okay.
Africa be like, right? So they're always trying to tell us what Africa is like, and they're always giving us their perspective. So us writing our own narrative and writing our own stories, that's what it's about. So let's show them the beauty. And sis, you look amazing. My bro looks handsome
Thank
over
you.
there. You know what I'm saying? My sister
Thanks,
beautiful
bro.
over there. So
Thank you. That shirt fly, man. I love it.
thank you, bro. Thank you.
Beautiful. So tonight we are going to look into the relationship between the brothers and sisters in the diaspora, so us and our continental brothers and sisters. Because as we all know now, so many of us are going to Africa.
Yes.
And some of our brothers and sisters here, they look exactly, like 90%, 80%, you're going to see someone that look exactly like you.
Yes.
But our mindset and the way we do things are different. So since Brother Franklin, you know the in and out, I would say, let me put it like that. Another historian on the panel. So what do you think is the way forward for us, the diaspora and the continental brothers and sisters, to be able to gel properly and do things that we need to do? Because number one, without trust, we are not moving anywhere. So that's why we need to have this type of conversation, so we can learn and know, okay, this is how we're going to move forward, and this is how we're going to do things. So like we all know, we have a lot of things to do, a lot of work to do, but our unity, our understanding, the trust, all those things have to be in in line. So we'll be able to move and do certain things quickly and move on other things. So what do you have to say?
I mean, I like the way you said that. You mentioned a couple of things there, and I would like to touch on that. I like to put this out there. There's no, I would say, one definitive way. Do you see what I'm saying? That we as a people can say, yes, this is the way, so let's all of us do this. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't come from that school of thought. I come from more the school of thought that there definitely needs to be a mindset, first and foremost. And for me, that mindset has to come in a structure and a form of principles, morals, behaviors, you see what I'm saying, ways of acting and dealing with each other, and then support that with what we stand for, using what we deal with, for example, right? So Blackmail TV, we deal with LSG, love, support, growth. And they stand for principles that we want the people to exercise and to engage in. So love deals with the mental and mindset, the ability to connect, the ability to communicate, the ability to understand, to have empathy, to be accountable, to have truth and accountability and integrity. And the list goes on. Do you see what I'm saying? And these would form sort of a principle and building block. Now, we all have this amongst the Black community. We have different religions. We've got the 5%ers, Egyptology, all the different schools of thought that is trying to give us a spiritual balance, so to speak, a spiritual cohesion, you know what I'm saying, that we can all. For me, what I found is that, especially when I'm looking at the diaspora and looking at Africa, is that the application of the spiritual principles is what's lacking. So this is where we say support comes into place. So there may be loads of principles, and this is why I hear a lot of people say, we're always talking, we're always talking, we're always talking, but where's the action? Do you see what I'm saying? And this is being felt on both sides, you know, on the diaspora. Where's all this talking? What's African leaders doing? Why are people in Africa not stepping up and, you know, dealing with, they got the resources, they got the land, why aren't they doing that? And then on the other side, you know, you could have some people on the continent saying, well, look at the diaspora. They've got all the skills, the ingenuity, they've got the resources. Why aren't they coming back? You know, so both sides are kind of arguing that point, you see what I'm saying, in a sense. And for me, what we found that was lacking was, again, those principles, the principles of understanding each other. Colonialism happened in Africa, slavery happened in the West. But for some reason, we see it, we know it, but there's a disconnect as to the empathy, as to us having the same experience, but just on a different side of the world. So I see that lack of empathy, and because I see that lack of empathy due to a lack of understanding of those histories for majority of our people, not all our people, majority of our people, there is a disconnect for them to be able to say, well, that is my brother, or that is my people, or you should have said that I must go back to work with them or deal with them. That continent is my landmass, that place. So there's a disconnect from each other, and there's also a disconnect from the land itself. You see what I'm saying? I've heard African Americans say we're descendants of. I don't even know how to say it right, but they basically said that they're not Africans, even though they descend from Africans, but they're American descendants. I don't even know how that makes sense in their mind, but unless you are, just historically speaking, Africans went from Africa to America before slavery. So if that's what they're speaking about, then they will still be Africans. If they're speaking about being Africans taken from slavery to America, they will still be Africans. So again, there's this disconnect because of historical fact or continuity. There's a disconnect because of not being able to affiliate with the continent. There is a disconnect not being able to affiliate with the people because, again, the propaganda is Africa be like flies, children starving, you know, the political poor, war-torn, or political corruption. So people look at that and they say, well, I don't want to be African because when I think Africa, there's all these negative connotations that come with it. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about how do we work together, how do we build, we must, it's like going to an AA meeting, right? So you have people that, you know, Alcoholics Anonymous, the first thing you have to do when you go there is admit you have a problem. Hi, my name is John. I'm whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we as people, some of us don't want to admit that we have a problem, because once you admit you have a problem, we now have a platform where we can work towards by dealing with the root issues of what the problem are. Rather than talking around the issues and talking points, we need to admit what they are, turn around and deal with those issues. And by doing that, that's how we start to bridge the gap. You know, I don't want to take up too much, but I'll pass it over to Teo as well, because there's other things that we can, you know, build on that. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, well said, brother. Well said. I think the first thing is just communication. You know what I'm saying? We had an advantage in 2021 because we have social media. We got Facebook, Instagram, and we just gotta reach out to our brothers and sisters on the continent and in the diaspora. So you should be reaching out to Black brothers and sisters in Brazil, the Philippines, Nigeria, South Africa. Number one, to communicate and let them know that, you know, you do see yourself in them. And then secondly, you know, you have businessmen in Africa. You know what I'm saying? You have entertainers in Africa, in Brazil, in the Philippines, and, you know, and even in the UK. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely got to take advantage of those situations. And secondly, we also have the internet for research. A lot of African Americans, for example, they don't know about colonialism and neo-colonialism and the scramble for Africa. and stuff like that. You know, we really don't know what happened to us in America, so let alone what happened in 60 different countries in Africa. So a lot of us, we may know about Nelson Mandela.
Oh, we're losing you, bro.
Ty, I think you have to go and come back. I'm sure it's the network. We have, yeah. I think.
Can you hear us?
Oops.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
See how technology sometimes works for us, then works against us.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, that first point you made, let me add Amuzu in here. And I'll be putting the link now. The link is in the chat. If anyone wants to call in, feel free to call in. We are here to talk and learn. So what you said, Graf Franklin, regarding you, people have to acknowledge first that there is a problem. And to be honest, us also interacting with you know, some of our brothers and sisters, we know that been through, you know, they've been through a lot.
Yeah.
So automatically the way I'll do certain things won't be the same way Taye will look at things. But it does not necessarily mean that they are trying to be rude or arrogant, but because that's all they know.
Yeah.
So that point you made is so important for us, brothers and sisters on the continent, to understand that they might come across some people, you know, that might say things or do things certain way, but it does not mean that they, you know, they want to you know, to look down on them or anything. But some of them is, you know, for them, the way they view things is different than the way someone on the continent who you know, see things. So Ty is back. Try and say something and see if your connection is okay now.
Right, I'm gonna try one more time. I don't want to break up the flow. So can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
No, I wanted you to finish on that point you were talking about, because I was going to segue into the technology, you see what I'm saying? But I wanted you to finish on that because you talked about social media, researching on the internet, and I think you had a third point that we didn't get to catch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like I was saying, the first thing, just take advantage of social media to connect with brothers and sisters around the world. And like you say, everybody not going to agree on everything. Everybody don't view things the same. But if you just meet one person in every country, if you meet one African in every one of the 60 countries, then that's a start. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we could do. We got 5,000 friends on Facebook. Make room for 60 Africans. Make room for one Brazilian.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because somebody, I mean, for most of our internet journey kind of started off with one of the YouTubers that we watch, Zen de la Seca, and she made a very powerful statement. And she said, "We're in the age of internet." Just what you just said. We're in the age of information and social media. You can reach out to anybody across the world. You see what I'm saying? In these spaces, and literally be able to get, you know, communicate back and forth. You see what I'm saying? So really, this is the best time and only time in the entire history of mankind that we have access to communication to each other, literally at the fingertips. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's really a different age, and we need to be able to utilize that. You see what I'm saying? Us being diasporans, to be able to now link back with our brothers and sisters on the African continent and actually start doing things, you know? We're talking about how we can work together, and the thing that I always say is group economics, and I always push that principle and that strategy of working together, not as an entire group of Black people, but as small pockets of individual groups. You see what I'm saying? Working together, doing their thing in their own little, I call them sleeper cells. You know, if they can do it, we can do it. You see what I'm saying? And we can do it for business.
Definitely.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So If we could develop sleeper cells amongst ourselves as diasporans and connect with the other sleeper cells that are on the continent, we can bypass the two major problems. One, the African governments and their corrupt puppet ways. And two, we can also bypass the foreign invaders, the Chinese, the Indians, the Lebanese, the Europeans, because we are doing business directly with each other. And that's going back to before capitalism was ever a structure implemented in this world. We dealt with business one-to-one, face-to-face, interpersonal, bartering, exchanging. We need to go back to doing that amongst us as a people. And then we can practice the capitalist system with the other nations. You see what I'm saying? I'm down for that. We're good with that, but just not amongst ourselves.
That's those points we need to put them down. Just write them down. How we can still do our things the way we used to do it, but when there are other groups involved, then we have to be on code. Let's put it like that. Anything you, Amuzu, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Your volume is quiet, proper low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, you have to speak up a bit louder.
Is it okay?
I think maybe if you
might
can
have YouTube in the back. You got to turn down the YouTube in the back.
Let's see if it's better now. I'm going to.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you really hear me now?
It's still very low.
Can you hear me now? Oh,
or maybe if you have earphones or a headset.
Oh, is it okay?
No, really. And I don't know if.
No, we're getting the feedback from the show, so he's got to mute the show so we can hear you.
These things.
Yeah, try again. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's just, you need to speak louder.
Can you hear me now?
Louder.
Can you hear me now? I'm screaming.
Yeah, it's better now.
I'm really screaming. That's not the way I used to talk. I have to be screaming. Anyway, thank you very much for having me on this platform. It's always a privilege and I'm heart feeling to join our brothers from other parts of the world. So thank you very much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. I don't know, for some reason we're still having the on and off background, it keeps coming up. So let me quickly.
Okay. I'm just trying to sort that out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We just want to. For some reason, it's like I don't know who is who's on YouTube watching us, but that is voice keep bringing the echoing. So if anyone has YouTube playing in the background, then you have to completely go off it.
Mute us.
Let's see. Let's see if there will be any change. Okay, how is he now? So let me see. I'll let you speak.
Yeah,
Yes.
so unmute us one at a time and then say something so we can find out which.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to do now. You guys are good. I think Taye, can you say something?
Mic check, mic check.
So Amizu, can you hear us? Okay.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, Amizu, you are on YouTube, so that's why you keep echoing.
I'm not on YouTube too.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What I'll do, I'll put the link in the chat. We carry on. If you want to call back on, call again and let's see. Yeah.
Okay, let me leave and let me call back on again.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Okay, let's go back.
I was saying, sis, did you notice how I just stayed quiet whilst they were figuring out the technology?
That's the power right there. That's just the power right there. Only is when we come together, we'll be able to solve issues quick.
Yes.
For us to be able to do that, we need to reach a point of understanding. And if you are on the continent, like a brother Franklin was saying, when you meet the brothers and sisters from the diaspora, always remember, don't be so hard on them, and vice versa. Because the way we do things here, certain things here is completely different. Like I was watching something, I think yesterday, and the person was saying, me as a man, that was a man speaking. There is no way I will actually go out there and beg for money. Mm-hmm. But this brother, he went to Africa, and another brother there in the country, that country was asking for money. So some people was going back and forth, like, okay, but what will he do? Like, if he's in need, mm-hmm. then what can he do? He can just ask. And the other brother said, no, as a man, there is something in him that will tell him, no, let me go and look for a job, work, and sort myself out, than finding it okay going out there and beg for money.
Okay, we've all frozen. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys clearly.
Well, we've all frozen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the screen's frozen.
Wow, I don't know
all three of us. All three of us.
I say, I don't know what's going on. Maybe probably tonight the internet is just playing up. Is it better now? Are you guys back?
No. Okay, we're gonna jump out and jump back in.
Right, jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, and see how we play out. So that's why we all need to understand both sides, because from the brother that actually went on the continent, travel over there, and then find another man begging for money, he couldn't understand, like, why you as a man, you going to be out here instead of looking for a job, and solve your issues. You feel comfortable that you can go out and then ask for money. And for some other people, they're like, yeah, but what choice does he have? Tai, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Queen.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back. So for him, it's not acceptable for a man to go out there and be begging for money when you have, full strength, you should go and find a job rather than going to another man and begging for money. So Taya, if you happen, like, you find yourself in a situation like that, what will be your reaction?
It's a conversation.
I mean, it kind of go back to what was said earlier about cooperative economics. I believe that, if we create those situations, then nobody would have to beg. Nobody would have to go without. You can do work co-ops, you could do land co-ops, you could do farm co-ops, economic co-ops, bank co-ops, they call them credit unions, food co-ops, and everything. So, everybody would be invested. Everybody would have a share. So if we had 1,000 tomatoes, everybody would get an equal share. So if we were making money and revenue, then everybody would, get an equal share in that community. So, even if everybody only have a little bit, it would equal up to a lot. So I think that's very important. Cooperative economics, as far as that situation and the bigger situation between the diaspora and the continent. If we can do cooperative economics, then that'll help us out a lot. That way, because if I'm an African American and I come to, say, South Africa and I buy land and I open up a business, then I'm potentially going to do the thing that a white person could do or an Asian person can do. I'm going to keep the money, but I may be Afrocentric, I may give back, or I may donate, but it's still not empowering the community. It's still not empowering the people to where they like, okay, this is ours too. So we need to protect this. We need to be involved in this. We need to volunteer for this. This person don't have this, then we'll make sure he have it, so nobody will have to go without. It'll be more of a unified community feel.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was dying to jump in on that point where he just said about the cooperatives, the cooperatives are working together, because we're not trying to say to people that this is some complicated, big. It's not rocket science, right? This ain't algebra. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple, and I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to use the scriptures for a second to point this out, right? Because you said something very important, and I'm going to use group economics, farming, and the scriptures to tie them all together, right?
Right.
Now, what can diasporans do with Africans? First of all, let's be real. Africans got the land, right? They are struggling with being able to get the manufacturing, the tools to turn the raw materials into finished goods, right? That's a fact. But those in the diaspora have the ability and the finance to be able to come together in small pockets to buy land, and then finance the agricultural land with manufacturing materials, maybe turn it into a plant or build something on top of the land to be able to process those goods, right? Now, this is now group economics we're working together with. On top of, now here comes the mindset, where the scriptures come into play, and to deal with the food issue that you were just talking about this now. Just in the scriptures, there's a law that says that when you cut your field as a farmer, you keep the corners. You don't cut the corners of the field. You leave the corners of the field for the homeless, the fatherless, the widows, and for the strangers that are passing through your land. If all the farmers kept that in the community, you'd eradicate poverty and hunger in your community. And then there was a subsidiary law that followed that for the people who were going there, because people think, oh, it's free food, I can just go get the food, right? The law was you can only take what your hand can carry, what you need. So you couldn't go there with a bag and a sack and I'm cleaning up tonight. No, you had to go with what was in your hand, so that the next person coming by, they could carry what was in the hand and it fed them for that day. Now, if you traveled through the land, you'd been fed every single day that you went through the land until you exited the land. Eradicating hunger. Simple policies like this, tied in with the group economic principles and the mindset, can revolutionize and change our whole community. But our people have to apply it. They have to be of the mindset, they have to be of the conviction, they have to be of the intent. Do you see what I'm saying? To see this come through. There has to be people in position that's going to say, I'm not going to waver off this square. This is for the people. Do you see what I'm saying? Listen, when you read the scriptures, it's in group economics is in there. Acts chapter 4, verse 32. It's right there in plain black and white. 2,000 something years ago. And people want to talk to us and tell us there's no finance in the Bible. You're talking foolishness. Michael 4 in the Bible talks about every man should have his own house with his own vineyard, with his own fig tree. You go Google what a vineyard is and go look at the vineyard and see how big that space is. And that's for every man, meaning every household, every family. Because families join together, make up a community. A community is the building blocks and the foundation of what we would call a nation. If we don't have those things, then look what we have. We don't have a nation. We have land, we have resources, but a nation is the people, not the land in which these people sit on. The country is the people.
It's very important point right now that I want to highlight that again and us going over it. When it comes to people taking advantage.
Yes.
That, okay, because it's free, but they say it's only a certain portion that each individual or each family that might be in need can carry. So this will branch to something that, you know, it happened to various people. And sometimes it's not even because, you know, you have American accent or British accent or whatever accent. You know, unfortunately, some of the brothers and sisters on the continent tend to try and take advantage of the one from the diaspora that you know that are there. But what I want us to sit down and reflect on, we always have to, and this for our continental brothers and sisters, always remember the little you're going to try and take today. Maybe that person is able to even help you with more. But because you decide in your little, you know, mind that is all about today, you do what you're not supposed to do at that time by thinking, oh, you know, they don't know this, they don't know that. So that thing right there is really, really bad. And we have to get rid of it. If you are on the continent, we open our arm for our brothers and sisters to come. But as well, at the same time, you know, unfortunately, there are some small group out there also that would try and jump on the situation, take advantage. But remember, if people are coming, they are coming for us, you know, over there, so we can do things together. Like Taye just said, well, like, oh, once, you know, things are in place, no one will be begging. Which means you see the mindset he has already going there to build. So together, not just like, you know, living off a handout. But he knows if things are going how they're supposed to go, you don't need to be on the street, you know, on the street, or your child or your cousin be on the street begging.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can I just say something, sis? Yeah.
Oh yes. Go
ahead. Regarding what we were speaking on about, obviously continents working together to build Africa, and just touching upon what you spoke about, connecting with one person. My husband and I were saying the other day, the misconception is that, once again, going back to people's attitudes, and when you're making connections, you don't have to make large groups of connections. You're making connections with individual people, and their connections lead out to that. So if we're really talking about how we're going to work together and really build together, people need to start looking from their place of, well, when you start looking at their connections, we're about being connect heavy, because we believe that equally who you know is going to be more important than what you know in some cases. And this is exactly the mindset of Africa. And diasporans need to understand that when we're working together as individuals, as a collective. And I don't think enough people are focusing on that, if I'm really honest. And that's what we need to do. So for us, what we would say is really look at your pool of connections and look how are you going to extend that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you're not, as a diaspora, forming those connections here, and you think you're going to wait to go on the ground and then form it, that's when you fall prey to be exposed to people to take advantage, to do all types of things. Because Africans on the continent, they're extremely savvy, extremely savvy.
Yes, another misconception.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, in a lot of parts of the mindset is survival mode.
I like to say they're a lot like Americans in the sense that Americans know they got to hustle to make bread.
Yes.
Africans know they got to hustle to make bread.
This is it. This is it. So, but at the end of the day, what people don't understand is much as well is that there's hard workers. So once again, we say to people, once again, using the LSG principles, build those connections, because what we're realizing is that there is a lot taking place on the ground. Yeah. From the few connections that we've made, and if you think you then extend those connections and those connections, extend those connections, and everybody's for the mindset of enriching and seeing the growth of Africa. If the diasporans which are coming over of the mindset that they want to enrich the people on the continent and they themselves to be enriched on the continent, then I think the working dynamics become different. You know, I hadn't even looked at it in terms of all you need to do is make one friend in each country. And when you think about it, when you simplify it, it's quite great, because we're all about the equations. We're all about simplifying things. Hence why, even with love, support, growth, we've got an L plus S equals G every time, you know? So that's just what I wanted to speak upon in terms of really the connections. We can't
tangible, you know.
Yes, trustworthy ones. We can't get over that. People need to build on those. I think so many times we make connections and we say, oh, I know this person, but you haven't really built anything with that person. We haven't built foundations with people to really call them connections, you know, because when you've made those kind of connections, when you go to Africa, there's people that won't see you be homeless. There's people that will not see you go without food. And do you see what I'm saying? And so even though there is that side of things, when you go there, even people with less will make sure you have something. So that's just what I wanted to just really say on that.
Great point. Amuzu, you are right now here with us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you also hear me?
Oh, yes, much better. Yes, I love it. I love the sound.
I think my camera should be off then.
Yes, sometimes it does help. Yeah, it does help sometimes.
Please, I will also want to say something. I think I've been saying this on other several platforms regarding the relationship between us here on the motherland and the diasporans. It's perception and how we see diasporans and how diasporans sees us. It's what is the norm for an African child is a home. They would rather sell their property, which has this big land called cocoa farm and all that, to sponsor one member of the family just to travel out to the diaspora to come and do cleaning jobs, just to come and put up a cemented block building, buy some few cars, and the whole family will be thinking that we've spent the entire family's fortune to sponsor you, so the whole family burden becomes it's like laid on one single person. So now this person too has to it's not like the way until you get there you might think everything you hear is a story, but the reality on the ground is that it's not the way we see it, either on media or whatever. So now it is the way we see the diasporans, and even the way the diasporans eat, the kind of food we see on our TVs, that we watch on our telenovelas and all that, wanting to live and eat those kind of food is what the African child sees. So in our mind, we see that when I get there and I'm eating or taking all these things, meanwhile, the diasporans are also seeing us that, oh, this is where we can get organic food, good, live, eat well, have enough sunshine, live like how blacks are supposed to live, where they feel among, where their color is not a question. You see, that is the difference. So we have it, we don't know what it is. The ones that don't have it know that, oh, okay, this is what they have, but they don't know how to handle it. And that is the confusion. So it boils down to what we eat. I always say that what you take inside you is what feeds your brain, your thinking. So if you are eating too much junk, you will definitely be seeing that your organic thing is not worth it.
Yes.
So it is so funny that what is also the cost is that we really don't listen to each other. We only hear, we only hear the sounds that one might be speaking. So in a natural sense, if I'm making a very good sound and people are listening or are paying attention, I might think that, okay, since I'm speaking and they are listening or hearing me, I'm smarter than them. So I would want to take advantage of them. That is the same thing as when the diasporans come to our land. We they speak so much about there, and they knowing what we have, we also tell them much about the things we have here. So this one sees opportunities, this one sees opportunities. We all want to take advantage of each other, because let's not disregard the kind of slavery we've been through. It's still in us. In this year, we are the in this generation, we are the replica effect of whichever slavery we went through. So everything is inclusive. So we should see that we are in our survival mode. So likewise, any other living thing, if you're in your survival mode, you will take advantage of even your own self without not realizing it.
That's true. That's a heavy point, bro. That's a heavy point. That's a very heavy point, and I like the way you looked at it. You know what I'm saying? But I would look at it in a different, same analogy, but I would look at it in a different concept, in the sense that capitalism is the reason for that hunger. Capitalism is the reason for that mindset, because capitalism is built. The concept is built off taking advantage and disenfranchising somebody else for your personal benefit.
Yeah.
That's not group economics, right? So the foundation of capitalism was built upon our backs as human beings, as Black people, as Africans, right? And we were capital. We were the first stocks traded on the stock market. Now, because our brothers on the continent don't know this, or may not be privy to that information as widespread, because rest assured, the majority of Black people over here in the diaspora don't know that information either. You know, so again, there is a lack of education on both sides. But
yes, I agree.
I would definitely put that down to, again, the capitalist mentality, because we can be rich, bro, but we don't have to be capitalists within our community. We can practice group economics within our community as Black people, but then be capitalists to the other nations. Because if they're at the bottom, that's their business. They got to work themselves out of that. We were at the bottom, and I care about my people first. So if I'm going back to Africa, or any diasporans going back to Africa, you are 100% right that they need to be in the mindset of building and not come with the white supremacist mindset of we're better than any African. And I've heard this a lot on the YouTube space. And I hear it a lot with this question. And I know my brother Tay is from America, so he can answer this as well. I've heard African Americans say, why didn't Africans come to get us? I've heard this being said. And that the moment I hear that, that shows me an ignorance in that person's understanding of history. Because when was civil rights given? 65 or 68, right? Some around there, right? When did the first African countries get independence?
around the same
around
time.
the same time, right? So where were Africans before that time? They were in colonialism, being enslaved. So when Americans say, well, where were the Africans to come get us, bro? They were right where you were, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just
on the continent.
Just on the continent. You know, and it goes to the same thing again with this, and I'm going full in, bro. It goes to the same thing with this feminist idea. You know, the Black men oppress the Black woman. Where? We were enslaved when the feminine movement was going on. So where was the black woman when the feminist movement was going on? Enslaved right next to the black man. So at what point could I have been overpowered you? No, that's the white man overpowering you. You need to go take your beef with him. So these notions that we put into our mind.
Say, bro, just hold it right there. Say, do you have anything to say regarding those 2 points?
Well, yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. It's just a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge, a lack of, knowing one's own history. So a lot of African Americans feel like, say, for example, we go to Ghana, we go to the West Coast of Africa. That's where we were sold from. But Ghana wasn't established till 1957. So you know what I'm saying? They don't even understand that. Like, so basically, Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, all of these guys, Nelson Mandela, they were fighting the same time as Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. So I agree with what you're saying, but it's just that they don't know better. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I spoke to earlier. We don't even really know our own history. So if you go to 60 other countries, we really don't know what happened. That's just an emotional response. Why didn't you come back for me?
I would agree. But this is why us changing the narrative and having conversations is good.
Yep,
but
I agree.
But also we need to facilitate the transition into implementation.
But then how do we, sorry, can I just put it forward to Taya, but how do we really then get that understanding? Because you have some Americans, like you say, that don't, through ignorance, don't understand, right? And then there's others that identify that obviously Africa as a continent is the place to go to get a different Black experience. But they still don't have the history and the understanding of what has taken place. So then what stops them from falling prey to thinking that they are for their brothers and sisters? Because they don't actually understand the history and what has gone on there, even though they're going on there with the genuine intention to go there and to bring forward, they will be met with the barriers of the different mindsets of people that are there. What would you say to Americans to help them to, the ones which aren't in that full ignorance, to help them to transition? Because you've traveled loads, you've gone all over the place, and obviously your mindset is not everybody else's mindset, because there's not a massive African Americans who do travel and have a grand experience which you've had.
And what I can quickly add, Priscilla, what I can add, not only the one in America, but other, the one in Europe here as well.
Yes.
Going to find those types that have those same mindsets going on the continent. So that's why when I say, okay, he's free, he will be able to join. I say interesting, because it's not like they are only hearing it from me. They are hearing it from another brother that have been there several times, interact with with the people. So like in the family discussion is learning time for all of us on both sides. So yes, please go ahead.
For me,
no,
I would like to add something.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the learning aspect, I think if one person knows it, the person have to stay grounded, with no ego, to be able to teach, because it is by when we say we all have to learn. So who is going to be teaching us? That's the question. So
good question.
Whoever is teaching has to stay grounded to understand that this is, I am fortunate. It's not with no prideness or with no arrogancy that I'm fortunate that I happen to know and I'm able to deliver it or to educate, to tell someone that, oh, this is how I have. It is the way we deliver the thing that is the problem. So the learning aspect, I think we are way overdue, because there's so many of us that know so much. But the thing is, we are not grounded enough to say that, oh, I will stand up to be the teacher. I will speak the truth. with less ego, that is the solution. Because we all say, I've been on several platforms, and all we say is we have to learn, Africa needs to learn, Black people needs to learn. So I ask myself, who is the teacher? Who is the teacher? Because you can't learn without no one teaching you. You can't.
Exactly.
It's
Yes,
like
that's true.
it doesn't make, if it doesn't add up. So we have to find those people with who can teach, who will stay grounded to give this education that they've acquired. Okay, they are, because of the struggle that we are in, there are lots of people with what they know. Because of the struggle, they seem to forget themselves and behave the same way we are asking someone who is expected to be taught. We are behaving the same way we, the ones that are supposed to be giving the education or teaching. We, because of the struggle, we end up behaving the same way they do. So it is like I said, we have to stay grounded. See, there's so much that is happening to us. We all, even if you know, you have to stay grounded and understand that there's a lot, and it beats our imagination, because our food, our ways of life have been affected. Let's not, our ways of life, if your way of life has been changed, it means your existence, you are better dead, because you don't know yourself.
Let me quickly read
And
this
you can't
comment.
stay in that all by yourself. You need lots of people to join you to understand. That is when whatever you've learned becomes sensible or makes. Because if not, we'll stay in our own madness, in our own corner.
Amuzu, thanks so much for your contribution right there. Because and now as well, thanks now for joining us tonight. This is a big thing that every one of us in the diaspora, maybe some of us that are still having the diasporan, let me put it like that, saviors complex, we need to get rid of that. Because when we are humble, that goes exactly to what Amuzu said, and then Na is also highlighting the same. Some of us from the diaspora, we are so like this. When we land right there on the continent, like everything we learn from here is the best. The way we do things is the best. The way that we carry ourselves is the best way. But like Amusu said it, and Nana also is making, she made the same statement. Humility. If we're going to work things forward and make things work in our advantage, we can't go like this on the continent with this mentality and attitude. We have to be humble. When you're going to teach someone something, they always say it's not how you put certain things across when you are speaking to someone. You might be coming from a good place, but it's how you say that. If you say, okay, you know that this is how you use the spoon, for example, and the person is carrying certain way, you're like, oh, you certain word, and then you add maybe African on top of it, or it's not done like that. You might have a good thing right there, a good opportunity to teach something. I'm just using a spoon as an example, but it's not a spoon. So let's go. So that, do you think that person, after hearing you calling name, adding certain things you're not supposed to add, do you think they will pay attention to the next thing you're going to add now?
No.
So right there, humility is so important. It's very, very important when we are going there It could be in business, the way you interact with everyday people.
Yes,
We have to
absolutely.
be humble for those of
Yes.
us that are still
Absolutely.
struggling with that. But yeah, go ahead, Isila.
No, I was passing it over to Teo to.
Tai, can you hear us, Tai?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Tai, I think we're having the problem again with the network. Yeah, go ahead. If you have anything to add.
No.
Oh, I mean, no, not really. I mean, y'all said it, y'all said it right. Just the way you carry yourself can go a long way. If I've been to 60 countries, I've been to 15 African countries, I always try to humble myself and I always try to listen more than I talk. But, like you say, the average American, they're not like that. Americans are notorious for being arrogant and thinking that their way is better than the rest of the world. So it's not just an African American thing, it's an American thing, you know what I'm saying? So
Actually, it's not an American thing. It's a European thing. Yeah. Let's get that 100% correct. Yeah. So that's a European thing. And let's get even more correct. When the Europeans themselves set foot in Africa during the 1400s, just before earlier than that, even after than that, they humbled themselves because when they went to the African countries, they saw kingdoms, they saw walls, they saw paved cities, they saw two-story buildings, they saw systems and toiletry and architecture on a completely different scale. They saw doors that were made from gold. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, they humbled themselves. So we as a people, and this is going to what the sister said about the psychology, and this is what I'm saying again, because the psychology of our people is we've adopted the Stockholm syndrome of our oppressor. So we now look to Africa, which is the breadbasket of the world. Yes. We now look to Africa, which literally every single resource literally comes to literally the solution of everything that's in the world is in Africa. And then we want to look down upon Africa, knowing fully well that we are from there. That's Stockholm syndrome. You want to relate to your kidnapper, then you want to relate to your own people and your own home. Right. And that's that mentality that people are bringing when they come with that superiority complex. I'll be 100% real. I was born on the continent. I came over here to the West. When I looked around, I was like, wow, there's poor white people. I never saw that when I was in Africa.
That's not the narrative you're given.
That's not the narrative I was given.
West.
But when I came here and I saw poor white people, I thought, oh, so they do this to all their people. So let me figure this out. Then I realized what's really going on in here. And this is what I have to say to our people, man. That mentality of coming up, there's nothing great over here in the West. The only thing you have here is convenience. It's convenient to be able to drive your car to the shop. It's convenient to be able to it's convenient to have lights. To have lights on so you can. It's convenience. What do you actually own here as a people? What do you actually contribute here as a people? What do you actually benefit here as a people? If you can answer all those questions as a people, not an individual. As a people.
Great point.
If you can answer that as an individual, stay where you are. Stay right here. That's cool. God bless. Invest. Stay right here. If you
can't, then Africa is definitely a place you should be looking for a different experience.
There you go.
A different experience. Not the black experience, a different experience. Like we like to say as well, even with the things that we're doing, the way we're connecting with people. When you think about Africa, to me, I'll say it's like, with some people's mindset, we're saying to people, do you want to chop or do you want lifestyle? Because sometimes people have the mentality, it's just about, the quick deals of this. People haven't got
say that one more time. Say that one more time.
They haven't got the long-term vision.
That in the back. Like, do you want to chop
or do you want
lifestyle?
Because in Africa, you can have a lifestyle. Yeah? You can have a lifestyle. And a lifestyle to which, for us here in the West, we can only imagine when we get to retirement age.
Or large sums of money.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what people don't seem to understand. So for us, we're about lifestyle. And for that, yes, definitely. We say people, look to Africa, look to that experience, and just keep your mindset focused on that, whether it's through connecting with other people, whether it's preparing your mindset for a state of humbleness before you go and explore other lands. Do you see what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we just say, you know what, keep lifestyle, LSG lifestyle, keep lifestyle. You need to be focused on the lifestyle we want.
So the question is from Na. She just wants to know because here we are trying to find out how we can work better with one another to build a better and greater Africa. So, what do we think diasporans can learn from those in the motherland and vice versa?
A lot.
Okay,
Who
I
wants to
would
go?
like to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. There's a lot that we can learn from each other. Like I have friends that lived all their life in the States as diasporans, and some had to stay. They didn't have any intention of coming back home to come and live because they've forgotten everything about Ghana. So they only came for a visit. And what got some of them staying back and deciding not to go back to is peanut butter. And I always laugh about it because I understand that the taste is different.
Yes.
So if we can start from the simple things such as even our taste, our food, the basic things, how we prepare them,
Hmm.
because how we even grow them. The simple ones, we don't even have to even look at the mathematics and all that. Let's look at the basic things that as humans or as a living thing, the things that we can survive on or
Hmm.
can depend on or live on. With that alone, I think there's so much that we can learn from each other
Okay.
in that
Uh,
aspect
with
alone.
with that, with what you just said now, I think people like yourself have to go out there and bring the awareness because what I've learned when I went back home recently, we have a farm. So my brother is the main person that love those, doing investing, time and energy in that. So the pineapple, the time was there for a harvest. Very nice, sweet, and all that. But you know what people decide to do? They say, oh, they are too small. And I've seen like some, some avocado that are just huge, very big, 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 but tasteless. So now they say, oh, the pineapple is too small. So why is the pineapple too small? Very nice, sweet, and then on the other side there is avocado, very huge. And then the people say, oh, because it's too small, they don't want it. But I just want you guys to catch something right here. And Amusu, you go and keep hammering it on. Like we are saying, it's not everything from the West that is good. And those fruits, the one that are very huge now, tasteless and all that, they are using what we guys don't want to associate ourselves with now, whilst we are branching towards organic. It's already there. So
Please,
our
please,
people have to
please,
understand the
please,
danger in thinking about,
please,
oh,
mommy.
it's very huge, it's big. I want the big one. The big
Not
one is
not to
coming
cut
with
you,
its own
not
headache. Yeah,
not to
yes.
interrupt with you,
Mm,
mommy. Like I said, it is the education that is perceived out there that makes it look like our food, the organic ones, are smaller. No, I'm telling you, when you're growing it organically
mhm,
with organic seeds, it is far bigger than the pineapple you see that people will say are small.
mm,
What it does too is the organic one will last longer to get spoiled.
mm,
So the saying, the perception that is in people's minds saying that the organic ones are supposed to be smaller.
mm,
No, that is not how it is. That is why I'm saying that that
mm,
perception has been created that makes it think like everything that is ours is small,
It's true.
which
mm,
is which is the vice versa. Everything of
Yes.
ours is bigger.
It's
Yes.
true, actually.
I myself, I've lived here haven't I would say that I'm fortunate not to have traveled outside Africa.
Hmm.
I'd say you're
And
It's not
fortunate.
too
I'm
late.
fortunate to also be living in villages in our rural areas whereby those kind of fertilizers or hardly it is now that government has been able to penetrate and are penetrating to those places.
Hmm.
And if we as people don't act fast, especially the diasporans, if there is a hope of seeing something organic again,
Hmm.
it is time for us to start rushing to our country. Let's start our lands. Let's start with the basic things. Now, let me even plant something that I can eat myself. That is the
My brother,
relationship, the
I
bond
don't
you
mean to
have to
cut
start.
you. I don't mean to cut you, but I want to ask you something. I don't mean to cut you, but I want to ask you something because we're talking about organic food, right? And we're talking
Mhm.
about
Yes.
farming, right?
Mm.
Now,
Yes.
over in the diaspora, there is a big movement, especially amongst our community, about eating healthy and eating organic, right?
Mhm.
So, to answer the question or tie it back into the question, how can African diasporas and Africans on the continent work together to build in a better Africa?
Mhm.
I'm always again the group economics. We have farmers in Africa who want to farm, and we know the produce is better. We need to find a way or facilitate a way to bring that farmer's goods over here to the UK or to America or to wherever the diaspora is in the world. And we
Mm.
need to be able to invest directly to that farmer and directly into, I'm saying, bypass the chains of everything else. Create our own chain supply lines through private business or community investment, or like Robert T said about cooperatives, where we can help support that farm, and that farm can in turn produce the produce needed to ship out to us in the diaspora and everywhere else in the world as a market. These are things that we can do and things that we can implement, and it just takes the willpower, because what I'm hearing my brother saying is that there's already farms there. There's already people able to grow that and need the marketplace for it. And if my sister over here is saying that, well, the perception is, oh, well, it's too small. I know that's BS. I've seen shrimp grown in grana that's the size of my hand,
Mhm.
and that's the most expensive shrimp in the world. I've seen mangoes and pineapples grown, you see what I'm saying? And it looks absolutely delicious, you see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
if they don't want the goods, I'm all for Africa trading intercontinentally and just leave everybody else out. I'm good with that. There's a billion of us. We got enough.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
my question is, bro, is there something that for the audience and the diaspora that they can get into in terms of the farming aspect that you're speaking about and organic food? You know, how can we link that together to help that happen?
Like I
Amusu, can you
said,
hear?
yes, I heard him very right. There's a lot we can do, but it will always boil down to how I call what I say transparency and trust. Because there's a lot we can do, but people have tried it. I'm not saying that people in the diaspora haven't invested in Africa. There are some that have lost everything they have
Mm.
just because the people they trusted was on the survivor side more. So they
Yes.
intended to use
Mm.
whatever they had on survival's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So it is how we find the people, like it is in everything. The right people are
The
very, very
connection.
small, are very, very small. And to locate them, even it's when you finally meet them, you end up not even trusting them like you because of past experiences.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
It's all over
how
the
do we
place. So
how do
so
we?
I'm saying that as a
Mm.
person, you watch the person that you're dealing with. If
Mhm.
you understand that this person is structured very well, if it means that you can't invest in something without not coming to see it for yourself. You have
Mm-hmm.
to visit, see the person you are speaking with, understand this, make your own investigations about the people. Do your background checks, okay? Don't rush into things, because if you are investing in anything, it has to grow organically, small. So first, it could be the little things, so that before monetary, because like the saying goes, money is the root of all evil. So once it's our means of survival. So if we have to create that relationship that will lead to where we can exchange monetarily, okay? So we have to build it, because it's the relationship that matters. Because money, I know, is just a currency, and you and I can create our own currency. So how do we create our own currency if we don't create a relationship?
Good question.
So we have to create the relationship. So I'll say that it is our all of us, it's our responsibility to try and create relationships that will help us, or for us to identify a healthy relationship and an unhealthy relationship.
My brother, I love that point, and I think that's where my sisters were going with the point, because, and this is what we're saying about our Black Belt TV, about LSG. We as the people have to stand on a principle and say we're not moving off this principle. We want to build trust in the community. People like all of us on the platform, we want to build trust. So we have to say, you know what, we're going to be the examples of integrity, of trust, of honor. You see what I'm saying? We have to stand there, be that. And then other people see it, and then they see the example and want to emulate that. Do you see what I'm saying? As opposed to what they see being emulated, which is the other side.
Or understand that there's a space there that is taking place.
Yeah.
That people are doing what they say. And I'm just going to keep it real. We've put our stamp in the ground for saying, you can trust us. Do you see what I'm saying? Blackmore TV, everything about us is just, there has to be trust. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can trust us.
There's a level of line and integrity that we're not going to cross
when we meet people,
of the greater good.
Yeah. When we meet people, we're going to also work off a notion of giving trust first, because I know we need to move with and I'm not saying that with naivety, as in like you just go trust. But to totally trust people, everybody must have the understanding of mindset of caution. Yes. And we have to be willing to freely give things in spite of we could be fleeced, we could be hoodwinked, we could be taken advantage of. We have to still keep doing those things, and we're saying love and support equals growth every time. So for that in itself, it's going to be that. So you can trust that everybody under that principle who is applying it is in love.
And being held to that standard.
There you go. They are giving support, and there is going to be growth. We are working off the principle that we can vouch for each other in trust.
There you go.
You know? So in trust, if Sister Kai needs something, she knows Brother Franklin and Sister Ursula, without a doubt. We don't need to know all the ins and outs of it, but we shall support. She can come to us to ask for that, even though if we don't know each other, or because she trusts we are what we say we are, and that has to be it. So I think if everybody starts saying, "You can trust me," and letting their actions speak in trust, and
thank you,
then it will happen. We will continue to use our platform where we only bring on people that can be trusted. You know, where we are specific as to the people which we showcase on the platform, so that other people can then say, well, Sister Kai is trusted for bringing on people to her platform which are about supporting businesses, which are about the collective, which are about African mindset. So automatically, when she's bringing people on, I have a greater interest in those guests that are coming on, because I know what she stands for. It's just that simple. We just start saying, we're putting up our pitch for stamping. And like you said, brother, some people saying, I'm a leader. I'm going to lead. That is the characteristic I need, you know. And the thing about leaders, some will follow and others won't. But leaders are still leaders regardless.
Can I say this, if you don't mind, family?
Yeah.
Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles that you refuse to change. When we're promoting LSG, that's the strong moral principles that we're trying to say we're not changing from. We're not changing from showing support. We're not changing from being honest. We're not changing from being open. We're not changing from trying to be as transparent as we can without divulging our private life to everybody else. We're not moving off the square of having to support our people and be trustworthy connections for our people. We have to stand in that square and own that square. Do you see what I'm saying? And then to heck with everybody else who don't want to be in that square. The rest of the world is there for you. But we have to be in this square for our people and for those of our people who want to come and who will come.
Yeah. The one with the right mindset and are also ready to make sacrifices for our people. Because right now, so many of us, we know that, we are what? So we can't take time and be dealing with pettiness and be doing things that we know that, okay, if I'm all about me and me and me and me alone, guess what? When I drop now, what will happen? But if you already put things and people in place that will be able to carry on from where you are tired or where you are not able to function how you're supposed to be functioning, you already put that structure into place. So things will still carry on and get better because it's not all about just me and it have to be only me. And again, make the sacrifice to, regardless of what happened to you in the past, say to yourself, I have to move on and keep investing in people, regardless of what happened, what happened yesterday. So Tai, do you have anything to add?
I mean, definitely what everybody was saying, I can agree with it. I mean, I think we just got to look at things in a long-term perspective. You know what I'm saying? People have 5-year goals, 10-year goals, 20-year goals. This is something that I'm looking to have an effect on my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids. So, like I said, it's a good thing to reach out to brothers and sisters in the diaspora and on the continent. But it takes time to build these relationships. So like I said, I've been to 15 African countries, but I've been to South Africa maybe 6 times. I lived in South Africa for a year. I communicated with these people for 5 to 10 years already. So you know what I'm saying? It's good and bad people everywhere. So you gotta, not only just add people, but you gotta get to know them. You gotta go over their house. You gotta meet their family because you planning on living there. You planning on investing your time and your lineage. You know what I'm saying? And your future in these areas and with these people. So it's something that I definitely believe in, something that I'm willing to sacrifice my time into, and I believe in it. So,
excellent. Do you have anything you want to add, Brother Franklin? I see you moving a bit there.
I talk too much. I definitely love to connect with the two brothers on the platform. It's just like
oh yeah, for sure.
That's what we are here for, connecting with the right people, because we are all about building, So if you find anyone on the platform that you think, this is my type, I want to, ride with, connect. And, our monthly meeting, we normally do. Feel free, I will send you the link, and that is not public. So for us to go over certain things and have a proper, deeper family discussion outside, YouTube straight, because we have to know people. And like Amusu was saying, I agree with him, and Tai as well mentioned the same thing. It takes time to truly build a strong, firm foundation when it comes to relationship. So along the way, things will happen. Certain people will not be necessarily the one that you want to carry over to the next step. Is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But due to your assignment, your vision, what you have on your hand, you have to work with like-minded people. And like we all know, we have a lot of things to face. So that's why, some people might think, we have to talk. I agree, we have to talk. But after the talking, what next?
What next? Some action.
The strategizing.
The strategy. That's what we say, strategy.
Strategizing.
I love what our brothers were saying, and I do agree with both of them, especially when you're saying about it takes years. because my wife and I have talked about legacy. We're talking about heritage. It has to be bigger than ourselves. Capitalism teaches the individualism of self. Now. With the people, we've always been about legacy, heritage, family, community. So yes, we should be thinking 5, 10 years, 10, 20 years. You see what I'm saying? That's because what we're building for our children. And if we don't start to build it, what are we leaving for our children? Oh, they're going to get up. So we did civil rights. That's it. We're done. We sit down. You know, the fight is over. The war is over. It's not over. It never was over. And for me, being born in Africa, seeing my people coming over and growing up in the West, going back to Africa and seeing the same situation as I was when I left, I'm like, hold on a second. This isn't just by chance, because I know my people are, look how much of the people and I want to use America because they're very glaring and obvious, but look how much of what our people have achieved in America alone, just America alone, under that oppression. Now look at the African continent. Can you imagine the amount of stuff that? You see what I'm saying? And there's only 40 million black people in America. There's over 1 billion of us in Africa. Why are we wasting our time with these other places in the world? Home is where the heart is. Home is where we should be. You see what I'm saying? And this notion of, when people coming over and say, "Oh, my brothers is taking advantage of me." Excuse me, I've traveled around the world. Yeah, when I went to Dubai, they were trying to take more money off me. Oh, he's not from here. They're charging more money. When I went to Europe, they're trying to charge me more money. When I went to America, they tried to charge me more money. They're like, "Oh, you British? Oh, yeah." It's like, no, it's a given. When I went to the East, same thing. So whatever you are, the moment they find out that you are a foreigner, it's easy pickings for those people. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's not be silly and be childish about our traveling experiences. We get that all over the world. It's not just Africans that do those things or try and charge you a higher price. Do you see what I'm saying? We need to come off that and move deeper into building family experiences, building relationships, building connections. You see what I'm saying? And
Thanks so much. We're about to round up, but now put one more question in there.
Oh, you put one in there.
Yeah. So we're just going to go over that quick, and then we'll be out. So to my fellow diasporans thinking of relocating to Africa or to Ghana in this case, and then Africa, in general, it is essential that before you think of the basics, food, clothes, housing, identify your why. What are you going to build in Africa? So now, if we have more time now, we love to have you here. Since you are already in Ghana, what are you building? Because you're already on the soil. So what are you personally doing for the betterment of our people? And how can you also give, some, share some advice if possible? Because you mentioned Ghana, for those that will be watching this live right now, or that will watch it later, that are going there, they can learn from what you are doing right now. And then if they want to do similar things, they can learn from you. So, but unfortunately, we don't have much time. Probably we have to, when we have our family discussion next month, which will be happening once a month, because of other things, we're going to look at these questions. So now I would love to have you here with us, so you can start sharing with us your experience over there in Ghana.
I can throw a little bit of what she's doing in Ghana.
Oh.
She's doing so much wonderful work in Ghana that she's impacting lives. She's not only in Ghana, in across Africa as well, speaking to her fellow sisters. And
She
who wants
actually
to
now
relocate.
actually put one answer here, but definitely, yeah, this conversation, this question you ask It's not a 1 minute thing, but because we have to work with time and attend to other things. I'm personally sending you the invite now for our next show, so you can be here. Your strategy, you can't leave everything on the platform here. I understand, but for what you learned so far, you know, just let us know so we can all learn from your journey and what is happening right now with what you learn. Because remember, we are here to build. So you having your, spending time there, exactly if I'm saying, okay, I want to be part of, people that already have land and they are doing farming. If that's what you are doing, then someone that's been doing that for a while can actually say, oh, this is how it's done, da 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 da. We do that and we move on the next thing. So that's why we should be meeting and learning from people that are already doing something over there. But that's great what you are planning to do, because we need smart people that really are out there, want to be the change. So if you want to contest to become a president, brilliant. That's brilliant, because we are tired, we are fed up of the puppet. We want to
I'll vote for her.
you yeah. So that's why when we meet, she needs to put on the table things that we need to know, that okay, this is what Na has on the table to offer to our people, because we are all about building. So from there, you if you definitely going to vote for Na, or you're going to put some other thing on the list, and so that is definitely going to be the topic for our next live. So if anyone wants to add something quick before we end our stream tonight, I will go with Tai, because I know it's quite late where he is right now, so he can go to bed.
Oh yeah, I just want to thank you one more time, Queen, for even allowing me on the platform. I want to thank everybody. I learned so much, and I'm just thankful. That's all I want to say. Thank y'all.
Thanks so much for joining us. You can have a good night's sleep now, and it's been so good to have you here. Take care.
All right, peace.
So that's for now. She said, oh, thank you. Keep speaking the truth, family, one love. Thank you now for joining us tonight. I see you, Colleen Bakery, in the chat. Thanks so much. All the amazing viewers right there. Thank you for joining us tonight. And like you guys know, you know exactly what we are about on this platform. Is you we are putting first by showcasing your businesses. So if you're a business owner, you know exactly what to do. But if it's your first time here, please don't forget to email me at the Diaspora channel at gmail.com, so you can also join me here and share your amazing product. I'm sure it must be amazing before you even send that email, so other people also can know more about your product or services. So back to Blackmail TV. Anything you guys like to add?
Yeah, there's
Stream?
a comment. There's a comment from Bacosa Leon.
Okay. Okay. Right.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. Okay, let me put it here quickly. Impressed. I think the panels have to forge something as a group and then move on as the first strategy after the show. I will be passionate to come back and see how I can contribute. Walk the talk. Definitely, like I've mentioned earlier, we have our meeting off YouTube. Our private meeting is off YouTube. So if you are not yet following me on Instagram, is the Diaspora channel, and on Instagram. So feel free to DM me and we take it from there. So definitely we have things in place we are already working on. So certain things are not for YouTube, but as long as you are part of our global Black family and you reach out and we have our chat, you will know more about what we are doing. But thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Excellent, excellent. So sorry, I just wanted you to touch on that because I saw it and I went, oh no, sis, you need to pull that one up.
Okay. Like when you're about to round up, my eyes was not too much
Yeah,
there.
I know, because you're about to
Yeah,
finish
but
up, and I
thanks
was
so
like,
much.
no, sis, get that one, get that one.
Thanks so much for highlighting that. You want to know more? DM me or email me, and you'll be definitely part of the group, and you will know exactly what we are doing. So, do you like to add anything?
I just wanted to say thank you for having us on the platform, sis. It's always a joy being on here. It's always good when we're talking about things of importance that matter
And strategy.
and strategy. So yes, thank you for having us, and we
love it, honored. Appreciate it.
thank you.
You're so welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure. We learned so much from you guys tonight, all the people on the panel. Definitely, we'll carry on with the discussion in our family discussion time when you look at issues like this and try to find solution. Not only leaving it there, but implementing everything that we know that is actually going to bring change. So, Amizu, do you like to add anything?
Yes. Anytime I am given this opportunity to say a final word, I always want to touch on this. I always want to give a message out there to every
Go ahead.
single mother, woman out there. The world need the tender care, loving, the TLC of our mothers, the women. That is what we need. And we need our mothers, majority of you, to step out, because by the ratio, I know that the women themselves, our mothers, they know that they are the majority. And once one mother is out there struggling, it means her generations will also struggle. So it is high time that our mothers out there talk to each other, keep supporting each other. Let's try, and to my fellow brothers out there, at least let's try and empower a single woman. Let's see every woman as in the image of our mothers, because they look like our mothers, our first teachers. So we have to at least empower her in all aspects, even if it's empowering her beauty, just saying, oh, you look beautiful today. All those things, it matters as brothers. Let's empower one single woman in our lives. I think the world, our mothers can really, really take us off this mental and slavery, because they are the first educators. If we have hope, our mothers can save us and liberate
Beautiful.
us. So
I'm
thank
sure
you
that
very much for having me.
you're welcome.
And I'm really sorry that your viewers couldn't see me. Is because of the network.
Oh yeah,
So my
yeah.
sincere apologies.
That's okay. That's okay. And thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you all. If you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm live next week, because we're going to have a Blackmail TV back on, so you can know exactly what they are all about. So they will talk into share more about Blackmail TV consulting, so you understand more about Blackmail TV as a brand, because they have things they want to share with you, lovely viewers. And the aim, we are trying to keep our money within our community. So that's very, very important. So if you are not the type that support our businesses, please keep supporting, learn and support our business. But if you are the type that is already supporting our businesses, keep doing that, because we need you. We need you.
Yes.
We need you. So
And thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. So Amuzu Aswa will be back, and I think on Thursday, and you know more about the project in Ghana, the farming project in Ghana, because people are moving they are making all the things that they have to put in place, and know that they are connecting with connecting with like-minded people in order for them to do what they want to do. and do it properly. So Amuzo will be here with us 7 p.m. UK time on Thursday, so you guys can understand more about the project. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Donc, comme vous le savez, ici, c'est très, très, très important pour nous de parler et de discuter et à essayer aussi de trouver des solutions à nos problèmes. Donc, c'est ce qu'on fait durant notre discussion familiale. Donc, si vous voulez aussi nous joindre ici et partager quelque chose avec nous qui peuvent amener le changement dans notre communauté, dans notre famille africaine, globale ou famille noire, envoyez-moi un mail sur diasporachannel@gmail.com et vous serez à mesure de me joindre ici. Ou simplement, si vous voulez nous montrer vos produits et puis parler de vos services, si vous offrez des services, vous pouvez aussi faire ça. Donc, très, très bon week-end à tous et n'oubliez pas de vous abonner. À très bientôt. So, guys, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. And please, please, please remember, we are the one that are going to actually change things. No one will do it for us. So wherever you are, find like-minded people that you can work with and be the change you want to see. So I'll see you all next week. Good night.